everyone, welcome. This is Brandverse and I'm Shibani Gharat. Now, a legacy has been reborn. One of India's oldest industrial powerhouses, the Godrej Group, is charting a bold new course after its historic split. In fact, 2 years ago, now operating as Godrej Industries Group, the conglomerate has unveiled a refreshed purpose, crafting tomorrow since 1897. Now, if you remember, this group split just 2 years ago, but it's not just a change in words, it is a chase for massive scale that after 2 years, the Godrej Industries Group is going for. So as you can see on our screen, in 2024, the Godrej Group, which is a 127-year-old empire, is now split into two distinct forces. Number one is, of course, the Godrej Enterprise Group, GEG, and then it is GIG. Now, GIG, in fact, has set its sights on staggering 5 lakh crore rupee market cap by 2031. This ambition comes with a roadmap for succession. Firoz Shah Godrej is slated to take the helm as the chairperson in August 2026, marking a pivotal generational shift. Now, here is how the landscape of Godrej Empire has been redrawn. As I mentioned, the 127-year-old empire is now split into two distinct forces. First, the Godrej Enterprise Group, or GEG, is led, by Jamshed Godrej and Narika Holkar. They have traded their classic multicolored logo for a bold singular purple identity. Now, GEG houses privately held Godrej and Boys. Their focus is into high-tech engineering, aerospace, and also defense, and the massive prime land holdings in Mumbai's Vikrori. Their new mantra, of course, nation first and consumer first. Then we go to GIG, as we can see on the screens right now. This arm controls the listed titans, including Godrej Consumer Products, Properties, and Agrovet. Now, under the current leader, Nadir Godrej, and chairperson designate Firoz Shah Godrej, this, in fact, entity has plans to nearly double its footprint to reach 5 trillion rupee valuation within the next decade. Well, Godrej has announced a new brand purpose and a new brand identity, and also a market cap ambition of 5 lakh crore by 2031. To steer this brand continuity and also this future-ready narrative, and to discuss this, we have Tanya Dubash joining us on ET Now today. Welcome to ET Now, and congratulations on the brand refresh and the brand identity.
Thank you, Shibani. Good to be here. Good to be chatting with you.
And such a pivotal moment for you guys. Also, a new leadership from August 2026, and this brand refresh, identity, and purpose. Tell us more, about this ambition of 5 lakh crore by 2031 that you've set your eyes on, and which will be the key businesses that you will tap into for this kind of growth.
So, as you know, we're a 129-year-old company.
Right.
But we have recently separated, so we are also in some ways two years old. So we have spent these last couple of years ideating about who we are, what we believe in,
right,
and how we want to build. And I think what we decided was that we want to very much hold on to our tremendous legacy of values that we've inherited from our ancestors and that we continue to hold. But the way we want to build, like they did as well, is to hold both the idea of profit along with people and planet, and the idea of growth along with responsibility together. And so this is one part of our stated ambition, which is the financial ambition to grow to 500,000 crores in a period of 5 years. We currently have 4 listed companies, and we hope to have 4 more, to have 2 more at least.
Yeah.
And that is the financial ambition.
Right. And also, I look at the brand purpose. It says crafting tomorrow since 1897, the 129-year-old legacy that you spoke about. And, it speaks about future ready and also speaks volumes about the legacy of the group as well. But the consumer has changed. And of course, we speak about, the discerning younger consumer, the Gen Zs, the Gen Alpha. So how do you explain this kind of legacy to like the younger lot who is buying into some of your offerings and products, the popular ones being, of course, the consumer side of the business and realty and so on and so forth?
So I think the legacy part of it, the trust part of it, the values that we have always lived are timeless, right? They are admired and respected by everyone. But I think we also are quite contemporary, and we intend to get even more to understand and engage with younger customers. And I think these younger customers totally appreciate our values and our thought of holding profit and planet together. And I think our DEI goals, our sustainability goals, and some of those values that we really live every day are hugely aspirational to this younger generation.
Right, right. You spoke about, identifying who you are for the past 2 years, but still we see, several businesses overlapping with the other groups. So how do you create that distinct identity for some of the businesses on your side?
So I think there isn't much of an overlap now, and part of this exercise was to actually create that clarity amongst professional stakeholders. For regular consumers, that doesn't matter because they identify with the Godrej brand, which we share with our cousins. But for professional stakeholders, one of the main goals of this exercise was to create clarity about who we are and how we will behave going forward.
Right, right. So tell us more now, given, the market dynamics right now. It's an interesting year for you, 129th year, as you mentioned, a new leadership in place, a refreshed brand identity. But around the world, there is so much happening. There are geopolitical challenges. Of course, there is a shrinking in the rural demand. How is that impacting your business, and which businesses are the most impacted?
Well, I would say we are as impacted or not as the rest of the country. In some cases, we are more sustainable, so we are less dependent on some of the things that other people are dependent on, but like oil. So I would say that it's not a great time in the world, and from factors like inflation and all of that, it's not a good time for anyone in the world, and we're all hoping for it to end soon.
During the presentation, also Firosha mentioned that how Godrej Capital will be like a key focus going forward. So tell us more, Tanya, about that as well.
So Godrej Capital is our financial services arm, where, of course, our brand plays a tremendously useful role. It is a very successful business run by a very, very good team. It was the first financial services to reach an AUM of 25,000 crores within 5 years, which beats all its competition. And we have a lot of hope about what it will do in the future.
All right. Thank you so much. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks a lot, Shivani.
Now let's move on to this one particular brand story. Now on April 26, 2026, a date that will go down in marketing and sporting history. For years, the 2-hour marathon was the 4-minute mile of our generation, a physiological, a psychological ceiling that seemed unbreakable in a sanctioned race. But in London, this past weekend, Sebastian Sawe didn't just break the ceiling, he shattered it with 1:59.30. And while Sawe provided the lungs and the legs, the star of the post-race press conference wasn't a person. It was a 97-gram piece of foam and carbon, the Adidas Adizero Adios Pro Evo 3. Now today we are looking at how Adidas just pulled off the ultimate iPhone moment in retail, turning a $500 super shoe into the most coveted tech gadget on the planet. To understand this win, we have to look back at the rivalry. Now in 2017, Nike fired the first shot with braking too. Eliud Kipchoge fell 25 seconds short. In 2019, he finally dipped under 2 hours in Vienna, but it was a laboratory experiment. Pacing cars, of course, laser beams, rotating running pacers, and also windshields, etc., made it unofficial. Now, Nike owned the narrative of the sub-2 for way too many years, but Adidas waited to own the record by achieving the first official sub-2 in a world marathon major. Adidas executed a technological pincer moment. They took the lab precision of Nike and applied it to the gritty, sanctioned reality of London streets. And it wasn't just a PR stunt, it was retail-ready proof of concept. The marketing genius here is just in the win. It is, the democratization of speed. For roughly $500, roughly around 40,000, an amateur runner can now buy the exact same mechanical advantage as a world record holder. Just imagine that. Now, Adios Pro Evo 3. It just weighs less than 100 grams. It features a 39 mm heel and new energy grim, in fact, foam carbon integrated system. Now, Adidas isn't just selling sneakers anymore. They are selling minutes of your personal best. And even at that premium price point, the limited drops are selling out. It's a total paradigm shift in consumer psychology. The shoe is now considered equipment and not the apparel. The impact was, in fact, felt immediately on the Frankfurt Stock Exchange following London's sweeping, where Adidas clad athletes just didn't win but took the top 2 spots. Adidas shares, in fact, saw a significant jump of over 3.5% in early trading as analysts recalibrated the brand's R&D value. And it wasn't just the men, by the way. The super shoe dominated the women's field too, with records falling as the new foam technology and the entire technology levels, the playing field, in fact, globally. Even rivals had to pay their respects in rare moment of sporting, sportsmanship. Nike's social channels congratulated the feat, acknowledging that sub-2 barrier being broken elevates the entire category. Now, when the tide rises, all carbon-plated boats float. Now, is it still a human race, a race of humans, or a race of material science? The answer is both. But from a marketing standpoint, from a marketing perspective, Adidas has proven that in 2026, the finish line clock is only billboard that matters, and the human limit has been reset at the price of $500. Welcome back. You're watching Brand Wars. Now, what are the key travel trends around the travel weeks this summer, and how is West Asia war impacting travel? And what are the strategies Cleartrip is applying to soothe travel anxiety with an ongoing war and flight disruptions? We have Cleartrip's Manjari answering this for us. Let's start with that big IRCTC announcement. Tell us more about this IRCTC association that Cleartrip recently announced, a significant association, especially to unlock, all those train bookings. So how does this partnership specifically cater to the common man during this high-demand summer months?
Sure. Thank you. Thank you for having me here to start with. We are very, very excited about this partnership. I think train network of ours domestically probably serves the most number of users, right? Roughly around 800 million users use this facility. There are roughly 25 million bookings that happen in a day. We would not be serving our customers if we didn't enter this, right? And what timing? We are seeing very, very good surge in demand for domestic business. People are wanting to explore the centers of the city, which are most common, your Bombay, Bangalore's of the world. But at the same time, Jaipur, Northeast, all these are seeing humongous demand for us as we speak, right? So very, very happy with this partnership. Very excited about the extent of opportunities it unfolds, right? One is the booking journey itself, which we will go live with. But there are a couple of challenges which a train booker today faces: predictability of confirmation, uh, being able to handle alternate routing. A lot of that we have put in place as next steps, so that we are able to keep doing better and better for this large audience that exists in India.
This question was going to be exactly that, Manjari, because, we know that RCTC is known to be painfully slow, and, the confirmation is a big challenge for, those traveling by trains. So what are some of the things that you are doing, to ensure that the booking journey is smooth, coming from, the kind of tech backend that Cleartrip has?
Sure. So I think one thing we are known for, and we want to avoid by it for anything that we do, is our very seamless booking experience. Not a lot of overselling, very simple 4-5 step process. We are doing that when the booking journey is also live. The other thing which we try and do is try and reduce the anxiety for the user, right? Even for air booking, multiple launches that we've done, similar to, let's say, price trends, etc., are in that direction. Today, when a traveler wants to travel from A to B, right, a couple of things that they face as challenges. One is, will I get a confirmed booking or not? We are working towards a AI generated prediction model, uh, which will help user understand what is the chances of him getting confirmed booking. Now, there are two ways out, right? Once, if we believe that the chances are low, can we route the booking through an alternate route, right? Book him 3 stations ahead, 3 stations further, split it into 2 bookings. Can we build more intelligence into making sure that while the intent is to go from A to B, are there alternate routes that are possible that can be built for the user? We are working on that piece right now, and you will see that launching very soon. The other is because at the end of the day, you don't get a confirmed ticket till about the end. Consumers do want to continue to check their bookings multiple times. We know that on an average, there are 4 to 5 times a user checks his PNR before the travel date. How can we provide that information more seamlessly is the other thing that we are working on, which will ease the anxiety that the user has before traveling on a train booking.
Right, right. Manjari, also we are sitting in, the summer season, which is the peak season for Indian families, given that it's also school holidays. What specific shifts are you specifically seeing in domestic travel preferences this year as compared to the previous years?
Sure. So one, I think the interesting piece is that domestic itself is doing really, really well. Both, I think, for the industry and for us, we are seeing a huge surge in demand. Hotels far more than air. So, for example, in hotel, our businesses jump roughly 40% from what we were doing, let's say, in March. What has jumped is family bookings, very intuitive. I think this is the time for summer holidays. So we are seeing roughly 70 to 80% jump in family bookings happen. Another interesting piece, which even when we were looking at data surprised us, is the jump in solo women travelers. Which is something which is unique for maybe this year. We've not seen that much happening in the past. For Northeast, we see that jump to be as high as 30-40%. For the rest of the country, we see that jump to be roughly 20-25%. So very, very interesting. Apart from the most common destinations that you would see travelers traveling to, I think Northeast is one that has come out to be substantially higher. Your North India has come out to be substantially higher. Places like Rishikesh, Jaipur, which we don't see in top 10, are emerging as top 10 destinations.
Right, right. Also, are there any other surprise elements, considering you also mentioned that, hotel bookings have spiked, but at the same time, due to the ongoing West Asia war, we have seen the airline prices are going up. The airfares are higher due to the higher aviation turbine fuel prices, and also the uncertainty of some of the long-haul travel routes to Europe via some of these Middle Eastern countries and via these Middle Eastern airlines like Emirates and Etihad and, of course, Qatar. So there is a lot of uncertainty around that. So given the West Asia crisis, is there a shift specifically that you are seeing over here?
100%. I think, and let's say maybe when the war started, which was end of Feb, so early part of March was a lot of anxiety. People were booking and canceling, especially their Middle East route or long haul routes quite frequently. We have seen over time with the ceasefire, etc., existing, for it to calm down quite a bit. Having said that, we are seeing the spike in domestic to be higher than what we've witnessed in the past than international this year. Again, I think intuitive with crisis going on externally, people are choosing to travel domestically than head out to international markets. Having said that, I do believe that for us, the surge in international is also quite substantial this year. Overall, we've seen in overall flight bookings, we've seen roughly 30-40% kind of a jump. Our growths are upwards of 30% even in April. Led by domestic, followed by international.
Right, right. The surge in international is there, is what you're saying, but some of these
But
areas
lower
and
than
regions.
what we would have seen last year.
Yeah,
yes.
Yes, exactly. Families who've booked in advance for May or June travel are suddenly anxious whether it's going to happen or not, and whether the airline is going to take that flight off during their travel dates or not. So how are you as a platform, as an aggregator, soothing some of these traveler anxieties, and what is the role that you guys are playing to bridge that conversation between the airline to take the trip forward, or to go ahead, or to redirect for that matter?
Actually, very good question, right? A lot of these get missed usually. As soon as the crisis started, I think the first thing that we did was improve or increase capacity in our call center, because that is usually where any customer would reach out to get answers to their query. The other thing, given a lot of it was unknown to us as well, right? Even airlines were taking decision by the fly. A lot of decision making was also happening the previous day or the morning of the travel. We were in constant touch, probably almost an hourly basis, to understand what is changing in their world, how can we get the latest information fast, and how can we proactively either call or send information to our customers, which allows them to at least be in the know-how. Maybe we could not we probably couldn't change what was happening at the airline level, but at least in terms of having the most updated information and passing it to the user and helping them build alternate plans, right? Let's say airline cancel the ticket and we're giving a full refund. How do you get the customer to find an alternate booking, alternate destination? Our agents were round the clock 24 hours trying to get to ease the comfort or provide comfort to the user and ensure that they at least their holidays take place, right? It's a very, people have actually saved money to build a holiday for themselves. We just wanted to ensure that they should not be disappointed at the end of the day, and whatever we could do, we did.
Right. So there is that set of traveler who's pre-booked and done all the booking for the entire family, and then you are helping them, ease some of that anxiety, if there is a cancellation or there is an airline change of plan. But then there is another set who is, following the wait and watch. Let's see how this, West Asia crisis pans out, or, if there is any other crisis emerging. And then they do a lot of last-minute summer travel booking. So how does Cleartrip ensure that this summer travel still remains affordable for some of these large families?
Brilliant question. So what we have is a very good, and I think, if I may say so, best in industry class product of providing flexibility to our users, right? So today you don't need to necessarily wait and watch. If your destination is decided, you can book a ticket and reschedule at a very, very marginal cost. At any point in time. There is also a cancellation flex product that we have, which allows you to change plans completely and then rebook a completely different destination, right? I think rather than waiting and watching and seeing fares increase, you book a ticket and make changes later. That'll be much cheaper, and that's what we've ensured.
Right, Manjari, thank you so much for joining us today on Brandverse and on ET. Now, your insights have been really helpful to understand how and which direction is travel going forward for this summer season.
Thank you so much. Lovely to be here.